Well, with one eye already looking toward Birmingham, the Marshall men's basketball team embarked on its final stretch of the season this past Saturday in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Herd were looking for a clean sweep this season of the Charlotte 49ers. Keep in mind, back in January, Marshall upended Charlotte here in Huntington 110-93, so you can definitely expect some offensive fireworks between these two schools. And it turned out to be a hard-fought contest for the Herd, who had to come from behind. They led early, and Charlotte stormed all the way back. But ultimately, Marshall picks up the win, 93-89, in a pretty hostile environment to boot. Charlotte had a huge crowd there on hand Saturday. It's just Marshall's fourth win this season away from the confines of the Cam Henderson Center. The men's team now has to switch gears and prepare for a new opponent this Thursday, the Rice Owls. Rice currently sits one spot ahead of Big Green in the Conference USA standings, but this is the only meeting between the two schools this season. That means that a Marshall win gives the Herd the head-to-head tie-break over Rice heading into the Conference USA tournament. But the buzz around practice Tuesday was not only about the Owls, but also about senior guard Stevie Browning. The senior missed last Thursday's game against Old Dominion with back spasms, a loss, mind you, but he says he should be good to go going forward.
But it hasn't done that since Thursday, so hoping it's done for now. Knock on wood somewhere.
Now, upon his return on Saturday against the 49ers, the senior played one of his most complete games this season for Dan D'Antoni. He scored 27 points, went 5 of 6 from three-point land, and hauled in 5 boards as well. Browning knows the importance of Thursday's game, not just for the standings, but also momentum-wise heading into the Conference USA tournament.
Huge, especially with this one coming up. I think we're either tied or right close with Rice in the conference, so we really want to get this head-to-head and send us into the conference tournament the right way.
Marshall takes on the Owls Thursday at the Cam Henderson Center. The game is set for a 7 p.m. Eastern time tip-off. Now, speaking of postseason Conference USA play, the Marshall swim and dive team stormed into Atlanta this past week for the Conference USA Championships. The team took 3rd place, setting a new school record in total points scored with 724 as a team. More impressively than that, though, and listen to this, they set 13 new school records while down in Atlanta. That is ultra impressive right there. Hats off to the swim and dive team. And last but most certainly not least, the Marshall softball team was back on the diamond this weekend. Now, you'll notice kind of a common theme here in sports today. A lot of Carolina foes for Marshall athletics this past weekend. Softball was no different. They were taking place in the Carolina Classic. They finished that tournament up against the Tar Heels of North Carolina on Saturday. Marshall ultimately fell 8-3 to the Heels. The bats really came alive for UNC. 5 dingers on 11 hits. Marshall junior Alicia D'Orazio led the way, going 3 for 4 with an RBI and 2 stolen bags. She leads the team in that category this season. The loss drops the Herd to 9-4 on the year, but they're back on road Friday as they head to Georgia for the Eagle Classic, hosted by Georgia Southern. That's all the time we have for sports. Breon, Danny, back to you guys.